So now, speaking of lifts, we go to measure 7. Between measure 7 and 8, we have a lift. But we have a rest, so that's cool. Hey, thanks for giving us time to lift. But look over at measure 11 right down the line. Measure 11 does not give us a rest. They don't give us a chance to lift. We have to lift, but they're not giving us time to lift. So we're going to have to cheat the dotted half note at measure 11, the tiniest bit, to be on time for the next two eighth notes. We can't be late for those eighth notes, so we have to cheat the note just a tiny bit. Normally I would not recommend cheating a long note, but if you have a lift and no rest, that's the exception. Then use a 4. So there are exceptions. Okay, so the end of measure 56 goes to the next line. No, DS all coda. It goes back to measure 4, that's the DS. I would circle that, highlight it, do something to it, because that's major, that's big time, you guys. Then give your eyes a few chances to go from 56 to 4, 56 to 4, 56 to 4, and I mean playing it. Then you play from 4 until measure 26, where you see the words to coda. You play measure 26, but then you don't go on to 27, you go to the bottom of the page, the coda at 57. Then you play the last line. So let's go from 26 down bow, take the coda, and we'll finish it off. And we're forte, by the way. Here we go. 26 down bow. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Now, did you get all those lifts during the rests? There's a lot of them. They're tiny. You might need to make them bigger. You might need to work on those lifts. So I'm going to play the first line for you. Just listen. 1, 2, here I go. Rest, rest, rest. What'd you notice? A little scratchy? I'm being mean. I'm trying to be real forte. I want you to get the same scratch. All right, now at measure 3, I had 3 beats of rest. Did you catch that? I had to lift during those rests. They did not mark the lift. They don't have to mark the lift. They marked a down bow at measure 4. So it's understood that we lift during those rests. If you need to mark a lift, mark a lift. I would write it right after the E in measure 3.
Hello there, everybody. This is Jen here with my cello and Dragonhunter on orchestratutor.com. And we'll be working today with the cello part to help get some of those tricky spots down to a science. First of all, let me just point out that before we start, it's always a good idea to have a good foundation. Take a moment to plant your heels and your toes. If you want to, you can check to make sure you could stand up at a moment's notice without even moving your feet. Second of all, make sure that you can hold the cello with your knees and just your chest. So look, Vaughn, no hands. Okay. Third of all, you should be able to move even just so slightly, and that cello never loses its balance. So you might actually want to sit forward in your chair a little bit, lean into the cello, press back a little bit with your chest, and then go for the best bow hold you can possibly muster, nice and relaxed. Nice, easy thumb in the back. All right, this piece is going to take a little bit of energy. I'm not just talking about hunting dragons. I'm talking about making it through the roadmap. It looks like it's 1 page long, but when you play the entire Dragonhunter, there's several repeats back to the beginnings and signs and codas. So there's a little bit of mystery to the roadmap. If you look at the beginning, you see all the way through from the beginning. There's a funny looking sign right there at square 4. I want you to ignore it.
But I'll start with the beginning to give you an idea of the articulation. 1, 2, 3, 4. Short. Retake. Retake. Repetitive eighth notes. Retakes. So this piece has some beautiful qualities. You have something melodic, but then you have something very articulate and rhythmic that's important as a bass player. What you have to